When we think of westerns, our mind instantly makes the association with movies where Clint Eastwood shoots Lee Van Cleef. The golden age of westerns is far gone, but the stories of cowboys and revenge in the middle of the desert are still alive and kicking. The Ballad of a Lonely Gunfighter is still as appealing as ever, and the 21st century has seen its fair share of western movies hit the big screen. In this video, we'll take a look at the top 10 western movies of the 21st century. Number 10. Cold Mountain. A common element in westerns worth its salt is the American Civil War. This conflict saw brother pitted against brother in a harrowing fight for the future of America, and it also complicated the already harsh living conditions of people of the era. In Cold Mountain, a wounded soldier retires away from the battlefields, wanting to reunite with his beloved. Of course, this is easier said than done, and he soon realizes that returning to North Carolina in the middle of a war is every bit as perilous as it sounds.
Whoa! He'll be back in a month!
Number 9. Open Range. The life of a gunslinger is never easy. These lonely heroes are the main focus of Western films, especially when their stories involve redemption. Open Range sees a retired gunslinger trying to live an easy life, taking care of his cattle. Unfortunately for him, the local lawman isn't as keen to let him retire in peace. Kevin Costner acted in and directed this movie in a role that he considered to be one of the utmost important for his career. In fact, Costner was so enamored with this role that he turned down the chance to play Bill in the Kill Bill series. The movie received generally positive reviews and won the 2004 Western Heritage Award.
Shot the boy too, and I enjoyed it.
Number 8. The Assassination of Jesse James by the coward Robert Ford. This Oscar-nominated film reinforces the idea that it's better not to meet your heroes. Robert Ford is a young outlaw who idolizes Jesse James and his legendary gang of robbers. Wishing to join him, Robert and his brother Charlie eventually find James and convince him to let them into his gang. With a title like that, you already know where this movie is going. The story sees Robert as he gets closer to James and eventually kills him to claim the reward on James' head. The movie was a smashing success with critics, with Brad Pitt even confessing that this was his favorite movie. Number 7. True Grit. Directed by the Coen brothers, this remake of the 1969 version builds on its source material masterfully, becoming a true classic on its own. True Grit tells the story of a teenager whose father was murdered by an outlaw. Looking for revenge, the girl enlists the help of a gritty U.S. Marshal named Rooster Cogburn. After having worked with the Coens on The Big Lebowski, Jeff Bridges returns as Cogburn. Bridges' performance breathes life into the deadly wastes of the desert and ended up earning him a nomination for an Academy Award.
Think 1 on 4 is a dog, Paul?
I mean to kill you in 1 minute, Ned.
Number 6. 3:10 to Yuma. Keeping up with the trend of remaking classic westerns for new audiences, we have 3:10 to Yuma. The 2007 remake adapts the story of the 1957 film about a rancher taking custody of a captured outlaw. The rest of the plot sees the rancher and the outlaw forming a solid relationship and comparing their morals, realizing that they both fight for similar purposes. If you're a fan of classic Western shootouts, then this version of 3:10 to Yuma won't disappoint you. Also, it stars Russell Crowe and Christian Bale, two powerhouse actors that really give their all to the characters they portray.
Name's Charlie Prince.
Charlie Princess. That you, Missy?
Number 5. Django Unchained. When Quentin Tarantino says he's going to direct a Western, you just know it's going to be good. Also, you know it's going to be loaded with expletives and violence, but more on that later. Django Unchained sees Django, a freed slave, as he hones his skills as a gunslinger to rescue his wife from a plantation. In true Tarantino fashion, Django Unchained doesn't hold back any punches when it comes to its violence. Expect to see bucket loads of blood whenever someone gets shot. There's also a healthy dose of witty banter and sly characters, all of the trademarks that let you know you're watching a Tarantino flick. Number 4. The Hateful Eight. Tarantino wasn't done with westerns yet, and after Django Unchained, he directed The Hateful Eight. This film bears some resemblance to the classic whodunits of Agatha Christie, in that we never know which characters are really who they say they are. A group of shady characters are stranded in a cabin during a fiery snowstorm in the middle of a Wyoming winter. As the plot progresses, we begin to doubt certain characters' motivations, and the tension between the people in the cabin increases by the second. Also worth mentioning, both this film and Django Unchained feature music composed by Ennio Morricone, the man behind the soundtrack of many classic spaghetti westerns like The Good, the Bad, and the Ugly. Number 3. The Revenant. This modern classic by director Alejandro Iñárritu tells the epic story of a trapper who fights for survival in the treacherous American frontier. After being brutally mauled by a bear and left to die by members of his crew, Hugh Glass tests his mettle against the elements and the wild. A harrowing tale of survival and betrayal, The Revenant finally won Leonardo DiCaprio his first Oscar for Best Leading Actor. Equally commendable is the film's cinematography by Emmanuel Lubezki, who devised some gorgeous long takes that help with the pacing of the movie. Number 2. No Country for Old Men. Another modern Western classic by the Coens, No Country for Old Men, is a violent story about a hidden treasure and the ultimate cost of greed in a world without mercy. Starring Josh Brolin and Tommy Lee Jones, this is one of those movies that has become popular thanks to its amazing antagonist. The undisputed star of the show is the diabolic Anton Chigurh. Javier Bardem portrays this antisocial villain with a menacing aura like no one else could. Anton Chigurh has definitely left his mark in the Film Villains Hall of Fame by virtue of being an all-around creepy man.
I need you to drive me on out of here.
Our number 1 pick is There Will Be Blood. There's hardly an actor that's better at his job than Daniel Day-Lewis. The character actor shines in this 2007 Western, where he plays a ruthless silver miner who decides that oil is the new gold and he wants a part in that business, no matter the cost. In this movie, blood runs black as oil as betrayal and broken morals become the name of the game. It's a cruel portrayal of the early oil barons and their lifestyles in the Southern California's oil boom of the early 20th century. This amazing drama received universal acclaim from critics and audiences alike, and it's considered to be one of the all-time best Western films ever produced. Currently, the movie scores an 8.2 on a scale of 10 on IMDb.com and achieved an impressive Metascore of 93 on Metacritic. Do you agree with our list? Don't forget to subscribe to our channel and be the first to receive new Top 10 videos from Stream TV.